It is December 12th, 2023. We're here on the rooftop of the property located at 6431 Lake Adlon Court in San Diego, California, 92119. So we're here on the back unit of the house. There's the front house. Here we're on the rooftop with a single bathroom to this back section, back unit. So we're going to go down this original 2-inch galvanized steel vent. This should lead us directly into the sewer line. Now you can see here, unfortunately, at 6 feet down, there's a 90 on the pipe. The vent doesn't go straight down and lead directly into the sewer and the toilet. So essentially we can't, through a 2-inch galvanized steel elbow, get our camera to make that kind of turn. Vent elbows are tight elbows, unlike drain and sewer pipes. So we're not going to be able to get through this vent into the sewer system. So we're going to go ahead, and we have one other special camera that we're going to try to put through here. It's still not a guarantee. Otherwise, we don't have a clean out that's off the bathroom exterior walls. There's a ground clean out in between this and the other building, and that box you see in the concrete in the middle of the screen right there. But it's an old cast iron plug and pipe buried deep in the box that's not accessible at this point in time. Some work will be required to gain access to that. And again, that also doesn't show the piping from here across to that point. We want to try to inspect everything. So we're going to pause for a second and try with a different small camera to see if we can get through some of these turns to at least inspect some of this part of the system. Okay, so now I have a second camera that's a small, it's called a micro drain. It's much more flexible. It's not self-leveling. The lighting's a little weaker, but let's see if we can get through any of these turns or not. Otherwise, again, we won't be able to get through. This vent leads in directly into the beginning of the sewer system. So you can see we're already not making this 90 here. So again, galvanized steel 90s are the toughest ones that would have been used compared to cast iron or ABS. So yeah, see, the threaded connection points make it very difficult. There's a bad lip and it's a tight elbow, so can't get in through there. So this camera sometimes has the ability to go ahead and get through a toilet bowl, so that's our last option, unfortunately. So we'll go ahead and try that really quick and see if we can get lucky to inspect any of this line. Otherwise, the toilet, when it's pulled, then somebody could inspect it from there. And then again, that clean out box there in the concrete deck, that only goes from there away from the building, does not lead back in, so won't show you any part of the system from there and anything under this portion of the system. Okay, so we're now inside the bathroom of this back unit in the back side of the house. So here with this micro drain camera that we just tried from the roof vent, we'll see if we can somehow get this through the toilet bowl, which in some toilets it can 100% get through. May not travel far down the line, but sometimes it can if the toilet bowl gives us some good access. So unfortunately, there we go. It looks like we're in some of the cast iron here starting down the line. So this is the closet arm or the closet elbow we just made. So at the bottom of the toilet, past the wax seal, it immediately dumps into a 90. This heads across the pipe you're looking at here, and straight ahead at the pipe, this closet arm hits the T-junction that goes up for the vent and down for the sewer drain. So let's see if we can somehow make the turn on this and get down any part of the system. Now the trick is we're going to flush some water and see if we get lucky and make this turn going in the right direction. Let's see what we've got here and flush this toilet. Okay, so the toilet is flushing, so obviously the line is functional. We were able, as you can see, to get the camera down through. There's some standing water in the pipe right here from the flush, so we were able to get through part of this. There shouldn't be any standing water in the system because obviously water just immediately leaves the pipe and goes away and drains out. So we're still underwater right here. So either there's a backup on the system, or there's an object that got flushed down the line, or some construction debris, or some improper paper product, or there's just a problem with the line, roots, crack, break, separation. And this is the whole purpose, of course, of doing a camera inspection, is to try to determine any of these things, to see if something's going to have to be saw cut and repaired or relined, if that's a possibility, if it's not a break, crack of any serious nature or an object. So we can't get our camera down any further, but at least we have verified here that we do have standing water in the sewer line that is not leaving, which is not normal. We do have in the shower stall, and we'll pull the camera out, there's complete backup in the shower stall. We noticed that earlier, there's a stain mark as if the sewer line had backed up, which is because that is the lowest drain in any bathroom, is a tub or shower. And this thing had filled up with water severely and left a stain that's indicative of a sewer blockage. So we definitely have an issue with the pipes here of some type. We don't know what they are because we can't get the camera all the way out. So let me shut this water off to the toilet because the lever is sticking here. So that's going to slow, but the water is not. You can see little bubbles on the top of the screen there and the little floaties. So the drain is not operating normal. We're going to run some water through the shower and see if that starts to back up.
Do we got like a bucket?
No, I'm going to take the shower head off, and hopefully it's just a clogged shower, because it doesn't make much sense of a shower valve. Look, there's no integral stops in here. The only thing I can think of is that it's clogged with some debris. That's why I got a little bit of dripping, because there's got to be built up pressure on there. This thing's not, well, their water is flickering a little bit. No, that's just from the droplets, but it's not draining out. There's the water bubbles right there. So the line is backed up. So something's going on with the sewer line, unfortunately. Let's see if this starts to create some bubble action. Now that that's stopped refilling. Yeah, there's the water coming in now from the sink. You can see the motion and the screen. So we've got the lavatory sink running now. The water's trying to go by. So eventually this is going to start to fill up in the shower stall and or bubble in the toilet bowl. Worst case scenario, it may, if it's a bad wax seal, start bubbling out of the base of the toilet. So we're going to pause the video while we let this run for a minute and see if we can get the shower head off, see if we can get some water operating through there. But there is a problem with the system here. Okay, so the water is going out, but we don't have it completely leaving the system, as you can see. So the toilet's just finishing its third flush. So we either have a huge blockage of 80 or 90%, except on the very top of the pipe, or we have some weird sag or belly to the system with improper slope. It's acting like a roller coaster and holds in all this water. But the lavatory sink and toilet running did not back up into the shower stall drain. We can't run the shower because something's been turned off or defective in the shower valve, but the water's flowing out, but it's never leaving the system. So something's wrong with the pipe here. So we're going to go ahead and pull back up through the system here. A couple feet, there's the vent pipe we just passed. This is the closet arm, and here's the china through the toilet. So here's the shower stall. You can see the staining across all the tile just past one row up where it filled up into their stall from a sewer blockage on the whole system. So we're going to pause now and move over to the front of the house and go from the two original bathrooms for that portion and look across the system. Okay, so we've now moved over to the front house, and we're in the middle of the house, in the middle of the pitch line here. That's where we have the original 3-inch cast iron vent that leads directly into the beginning of the sewer line for the two bathrooms that are side by side with each other, the master and the hall. So you can see we're quite a long distance from the back bathroom unit, so there was a lot of piping that we could not get through due to the inaccessible clean out in the concrete box on the deck, as well as through the vent or toilet attempts to get through there to determine that entire big length of how it ties into this portion of the system and what's going on with its path or issues, if any. So we'll now go down this vent pipe here, a bunch of bugs. We got a turn on this line too, but because it's 3-inch, we do have plenty of cameras that can make the 3-inch turns, typically with being able to still get out a good distance. So here's where the 2 toilets dump in. So right here is the true beginning of the sewer line for the front house area here. We have the 2 toilets, both dumping in and then going vertically down here. See, they run for just a few feet, and then it makes its horizontal transition right here. So we're going to push through this kind of quick to make the turn. There we go. So we wasn't sure if anybody was living here currently, so we ran both toilets and the sinks and showers for just a minute or so to put water in the system to make sure that everything is draining out of the system cleanly. So we did that quite a few minutes ago when we first got here, about 30 minutes ago. So we'll now push through this portion of the system. There's a T-junction right there, and that's picking up the tub and lav and showers for the other fixtures of the bathroom. We are going to use the other camera to go and try to inspect through the kitchen line, because we do have a good clean out access. Even though it's cast iron, we're going to try with that small flexible camera to check out that as it goes across and ties into the main eventually. So a little bit of scale and buildup on the walls of the pipe, but nothing too severe. The little bit of water we see in the bottom, we assume it could be what's coming from the back unit, that it does drain into this portion of the system. And because maybe the line over there again is partially clogged or backed up, that's why we still have water running at us right now. So it does appear that that probably does dump into this portion of the house from the back into here at some point, and is not in its own separate, complete individual lateral. And that would be normal, that it wouldn't be its own complete line all the way out to the street or even the front yard. So all original cast iron, but again, until we get outside the house, we'll see if there's any other issues, but we're not finding anything severe inside here. No debris, no objects, no major cracks or breaks or any flaking that's really obvious, or heavy, what we call channeling, which is heavy scale or buildup of deposits on the bottom or bottom side walls. So overall, the condition looks clean so far and completely functional. Just a little bit of water hanging out at the bottom of the pipe, but again, some of that could still be what was trying to drain out from the front piece. It doesn't mean that there's just standing water. Okay, we have a vertical pipe right there, which could be a clean out. We're at 70 some odd feet, so we're probably out to the front. This could be a property line clean out. I don't think it's going to be anything in the garage still. So what we're going to go ahead and do is locate where this is at. We have a debris bin. We looked underneath it in the front yard. I didn't see any clean out there. It may be under that or it may not, but we push forward for a second to see what this next turn looks like on the system, if it transitions down or into clay or anything else. No, it's still heading straight across here. We push through this while we can. Let's see if we going across about 80 feet here. We're going to go ahead and have to run some water to get out any further. This kind of distance and turns gets a little difficult, so sometimes running water can help us get past that. So we'll go ahead and pause first, and we're going to pull back to locate where the clean out is that we have here. It could be the property line clean out or some other junction into the line. So we're back up here at the 70 mark right there. Here's that clean out. So we're going to go ahead and pause right here before we start running water and just see where this is at on the property. Okay, so the debris bin that is parked in the front yard is kind of blocking our complete possibility of locating this, but we put our locating equipment at an angle. It seems to be on the right side of the bin if you're at the front of the house looking towards the street, and it's only about 6-7 feet from the house. So this clean out right here is about 10-12 feet before you get to the sidewalk, but it is in the front yard. So now with the running water that we have through the 2 bathrooms, we're going to move this as quick as we can so we don't lose momentum. See if we can get out to where this line, there we go, there's our property line clean out right here. So this is where the horizontal pipe makes a complete vertical downturn right here. So you can see we're coming up to the wall of a 90-degree elbow turn. Kind of hard to see with the water, but that one opens up vertically as well. So we're out 86 feet, so same thing. We're not going to be able to make this 90-degree turn to look from here on out, but we'll go ahead and locate where this is at on the property so that if this ever needs to be exposed or dug up, it can. But we don't, from what we can see here, have any roots intruding in the front yard cast iron. We'll pull back slowly here. There's already the 80-foot mark that we almost got to without the water running. So from that 80-foot mark, we only have to go this other 6 feet or so, and we get to right before the city sidewalk, basically. So here's the property line clean out. So we're going to go ahead and pause the video, and we're going to locate this, and then we're going to go ahead and inspect the kitchen line. Okay, so we moved down to the kitchen. Here's the clean out on the back side of the kitchen. We're on the outside. We left that first camera that we just went down on the rooftop vent in the main sewer pushed out to the property line clean out. We have marked that with some paint and a flag denoting that buried pipe in the front yard, and we'll move to the front and show that. But first, let's go see if we can get through this kitchen 2-inch line. We may have to run water here if there's a lot of fat or grease, but because this is on slab, we definitely want to check this out. So right now it's extremely open for a 2-inch pipe. A little bit of debris right there you can see. Here we have a 45-degree turn on the line. So for a kitchen line for this age, it's really held up well, unless somebody is hydrojetted or snaked this clear, or they were just never putting anything down. This line looks extremely circular and completely open for as far as we've gotten through there already, so that's good news. That's what we want to see when, again, you're on slab. Kitchen lines, 2-inch cast iron can fail quite often, but we look like we're nice and solid here. Still pushing out really far. We're almost 25 feet out approximately. Sometimes this distance counter isn't completely accurate, but it's pretty close. So you can see we're at 30 some odd feet. The line is still completely perfect and open. And here, right at the bottom edge, we got a little bit of a blowout on the line right here. So of all things, the line was looking perfect until we got just to this last spot here. We've got some crack or fissure in the pipe right here at the very end. Somebody might have been hydrojetting it too long or used a really aggressive bit, and the pipe was just weak. And so we've got one little hiccup in this line all the way out. You can see the bottom of the pipe is actually gone there. So what we're surrounding the pipe right there is just the compacted dirt and stuff in the area, but we've got a little hole in the cast iron pipe right there. So you see just past it, you see we're coming up to the T-junction, it appears, or another turn on the line. Let me see, it's too hard at this distance to maneuver across that. Let's see if we can. Nope, we're not going to get through that. I don't see our push rod ahead of that, so we'll go ahead and run some water and see if this can help us bounce through there. We're going to pause for 1 second. Okay, we're going to locate this camera, but we just ran water through the lav sink. on the hall bath. Nothing came by this junction. We're now dumping the laundry water out to see if it happens to have any water go by this early on here. We don't see anything, so it looks like wherever this junction is, we're not immediately seeing what else it's tying into, so we just wanted to give that a quick attempt before we pull back through this turn here. So you can see here's that area of the pipe that's blown out. Got a real good view right there. So we're going to go ahead and locate and see where this is at, because one day, or if not immediately, this will eventually have to be dug up and repaired. You could reline it possibly right up to this T-junction here, but they'd have to open up the stucco wall on this kitchen because the immediate clean-out access is passing a T-junction. So let's go see where this is at and how deep it is, if we're able to determine if it's going to be easier just to try to repair this pipe. Okay, so we've located a bar sink off the living room, and that's where this kitchen line is headed. You can actually see the T-junction ahead there. That's the water trailing down from the bar sink, so that's where this is headed. So probably more of a diggable area here just to fix this rather than reline it. So we're going to go ahead and try to see what the approximate depth of this pipe. We're going to back up a few feet in front of the cabinet to get a ballpark depth right here. So we're going to pause the video. Okay, so we have located this kitchen line. It is, again, headed right towards the bar sink, and it is only 11 inches deep. So it's super shallow. So this pipe right here that's blown out, the bottom right there, unfortunately, this small tiny section is basically just before you get to the wall that the bar sink is on, because obviously the T-junction you see just ahead of it is inside the wall, so the cabinet would have to be pulled out for you to jackhammer and dig up this area. But because of the depth, and if you're going to eliminate the bar sink, we would recommend repairing this rather than relining the whole kitchen line. The rest of the line looks perfect, and the lining process is so expensive for over 30 feet. Plus, you'd have to open up this exterior wall off the kitchen because the clean out we're going through from this access is passing a T-junction from the kitchen sink itself, of course. So again, you can see this line is just so clean and perfect. I'm assuming it's been cleaned or well maintained, or just somebody for all these years has only ever put water down there and never had grease, food, and any buildup accumulate to any degree, which is unlikely. But anyway, so that's that one little spot there. We're going to go ahead and move over to the laundry on the rooftop. We just want to show that. We pulled our other camera out since we couldn't find this intersection here. We're going to go ahead and see if this junction here with this camera from the bar sink can be viewed, and then we'll just show the laundry that it's in good condition. We did inspect it with another camera, so we'll show that from the rooftop vent. Okay, it's getting a little dark outside, and this camera doesn't have the best lighting, but we're going to go, I think this is the vent for that bar sink. So we're going to go ahead and see. Unfortunately, you can see there's turns and bends and twists on the vent pipe on here as well. So we know that the line is functional for the kitchen and the bar sink and nothing ever backed up, but we thought we'd just look here to see if we could see the rest of its vertical dumping into the main, but unfortunately we can't get through this bend and sweeps on here. The galvanized steel has the turn on there. So let's move over to the laundry. Okay, we're above the garage area here and that wall separating the house. Here's the vent ducting for the dryer where all the lint is blown out through. And then right next to here is the vent for the laundry drain pipe. So we'll go down this vertical pipe here. Here now turns into cast iron from the steel. And then this line, here's a little turn on the line. the little sweep, and here's where it's dumping into the main sewer. So you can now see it's opening up into the huge pipe. We've already pulled out the other camera, but that's the main sewer already that we passed through from the 3-inch vent from the bathrooms. So the laundry line's in perfect condition, no issues with that. So other than localized stoppages of having to snake out sinks, tubs, showers, that's going to be normal, but the main sewer is in good condition, and no roots, no heavy weird objects or debris or cracked breaks, bellies or sags, no heavy deposits. We could not get through the main sewer, of course, for the back unit, and that was holding water either due to some buildup or a partial stoppage, or there's some little hiccup on the line of some type. But other than that, the front house bathrooms have no issue. Laundry has no issue. We do have the issue with the blowout of the cast iron at the very last few inches of the kitchen drain line as it's approaching to dump into the bar sink. So that'll need to be corrected in the future at some point. Other than that, the back sewer, again, will still need to be inspected at some point to verify there's no major issue if that's going to get heavy usage once it becomes occupied. So that concludes the recording for this property.